Let's go to the man himself, speaking out for the first time since the release of that redacted Mueller report. Corey Lewandowski, good to see you, Corey.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
I appreciate you being here. Let's start with a simple question. This notion in the report that the president asked you to go and help fire Robert Mueller, true or fake news?
No, the president never asked me to help him fire Robert Mueller. Look, Ed, as you know and have articulated well, I've been a friend of the president's for many, many years now, and he and I have had multiple conversations, which I always respect the privacy of those conversations, and we talk through things all the time, whether it's any issue that presidents want to talk about. But never did the president ask me to go and fire Robert Mueller, nor do I have any authority, or did I have any authority to do such a thing.
So did you talk to Robert Mueller's investigators about this point?
You know, I had a very candid conversation with the people who were asking questions. I told them exactly what happened, that on numerous occasions over the course of the last 2.5 years, I've had the privilege and honor of going into the White House and speaking to the president, sometimes in private and sometimes with other people. And what those conversations were, I always keep private. And what I've said was, you know, our relationship preceded his tenure as the president and talks about a wide range of issues. And this is a man, Ed, as you know, who wants to hear all sides of an issue. He asked me the same question that he asked 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe 10 other people so that he can get the totality of the circumstances in front of him, and then he makes the final decision.
Let's try to
and at the end of the day, this president made the decision, even though he had the authority to, not only not to fire Robert Mueller, but never to instruct anyone else to do that and to let the investigation play out in its full course.
And true, he never fired Robert Mueller despite Democrats warning again and again that he was going to do that. That's a key part of the report. What about this part of Kristen's report that perhaps the president asked you to go to Jeff Sessions when he was Attorney General and gave you a specific piece of paper to have him give a speech where he said it wasn't because of Russia that the president won, he just ran a good campaign? Did the president ask you to do that?
Well, the truth is he did run a great campaign, and Russia had nothing to do with the outcome of it. And look, Attorney General Sessions and prior to that, Senator Sessions has been a friend of mine for a long time.
So he did give you that piece of paper.
Before Jeff Sessions even became the Attorney General, I was one of the few people who reached out to him privately and asked him if he would consider becoming the Attorney General.
So was it appropriate for the president to...
I have a long-standing relationship with Senator Sessions.
Okay.
He and I have had many candid conversations over a variety of topics, and you know, this conversation never transpired, so we're making much to do about nothing.
So it sounds like the president asked you to do it, but as the report says, you didn't ever give that piece of paper to Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, I never delivered any document to Jeff Sessions. I never had an in-depth conversation with Senator Sessions or Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
Look, I've spoken to Attorney General Sessions on dozens of occasions, but never did I ask him to interfere with the Mueller investigation. Never did I ask him to, do anything other than what was completely legal, which was continue to do his job. Can I tell you, I am disappointed that Attorney General Sessions recused himself from the investigation because that recusal is really what set in motion the entire special counsel and the 2-year, 2.5-year, 1 year, 10 months, and 6 days to be exact, witch hunt that this president has gone through. So I'm very disappointed that Senator Sessions recused himself because I think if he didn't do that, we never would have seen the special counsel or the attacks on this president that he's had to undergo for the last 2.5 years.
Last question. You talked about a witch hunt. President's talked about that before. We began the show talking about the president tweeting that, look, it's time for the tables to be turned. Do you think James Comey, James Clapper, John Brennan, and others are going to be held accountable?
Oh, Ed, I'll tell you what, justice should be blind, but it shouldn't be deaf, blind, and stupid. Justice should go after the people who perpetrated these crimes, and it's time to be on the offense against the greatest crimes against America that we've ever seen. Look, this makes Watergate look like baby talk, Ed. This was trying to unelect a duly elected president. Comey, Clapper, McCabe, Brennan, all the household names we now know, Strzok, Page, James Baker, they need to be held accountable. Bruce Orr, and I hope Attorney General Barr receives a recommendation from Inspector General Horowitz at the DOJ making criminal referrals, and if he does, he follows through on those criminal referrals, and we hold those people accountable for the crimes they committed.
We expect that report next month, and as you know, before this Mueller report came out, the Attorney General was direct in sworn testimony on the Hill in saying he believes there was spying of the Trump campaign. That is going to be a big issue in the days ahead. Corey Lewandowski, appreciate you coming in tonight.
Thank you, Ed.